Today was my visit at a prestigious, top of the line nursing home and assisted living center. They call it a campus. I recommended it to a friend because other friends had gone there 4, 5, 6 years ago, and great food, great staff, more staff than they needed. You got everything within 1 minute after you press the nurse's button. The nurse would be there to get you a candy bar, ice cream, anything you needed. So I recommend it, and a friend of mine goes in 2 days ago. Well, I was there yesterday and it wasn't too good, the report from my friend. And today, my friend calls me in the morning or afternoon. I was planning to go there anyhow. And he wasn't being checked on, he said. They didn't bring his medication on time. And he also said that the medication they brought came an hour later than he expected all of his medication to come for the morning, and he only got one pill. Well, this caused a stir with his family member that was here also, and they said, well, he took the medicine, we brought it in a package and gave it to him. He just doesn't remember it. It had been early in the morning. Well, this guy's pretty sharp. If someone woke him up and he had to swallow pills, he'd know about it. Because he certainly remembered when they came back and gave him a separate pill that had been scheduled later. Sometimes they schedule pills different times, even though it may be in the morning or afternoon. They need an hour space between some pills and another pill. Just because I take a thyroid pill, and it says do not eat anything or drink coffee for 1 hour. Okay, I looked that up, and it's because it won't have its full effect on the brain. Okay, I can understand why they may bring one pill later than a whole package of pills that they claim they gave him, but he said nobody was here. Nobody was here. Well, I suggested that they put a pad of paper on the food table, and when someone brought medication in, they'd write down the time, they'd write the medication down, and both he and the person that gave the drug, whether male or female, initial it too. That idea didn't go well. They said, well, we go to the computer and do that. I said, no, but he doesn't have access to that computer, and he doesn't watch him put it in that he took those pills. I said, how much time would it take just to get a small pad of paper and just put down the names of the pills, date it, and initial it and let him initial it? Then there's no arguing about whether or not he got his medication. Well, what's wrong when someone thinks that's not a good idea because it would maybe make the staff member feel bad, when actually the person that's feeling bad is the person that's the patient. In other words, the person that's the patient is being slapped in the face, saying, we know what we did, and you don't need proof. Okay, that's a first run-in in the morning. Second run-in is he needs to go to the restroom and he needs aid. That is someone to help him go in the restroom. And that worked out to where he had help going to the restroom, as far as taking him there. And the aide said, I'll be back, and get him back into bed or back into his chair, whatever. Never happened. So his family member and myself, we go down to the nurse's station. Nobody was down there. But my friend sees a box of gloves. And I said, try them on, see if they fit. So he took the handful of gloves down because he was going to have to get his father off of the toilet and clean them up and do what the other person said they were going to come back to do. And all this time, they had brought in food earlier that day before I got there, but it had been hours, and the tray was still there, loaded down with food he didn't eat, as well as cups of drinks and things that he did drink, and maybe there was something that he thought was good enough to eat. So somewhere I'd say in 4 hours, they came and got the tray. And then he went to rehab. Got to go to rehab. It's on the list. And from what I gathered, it ended up, let's say this is his foot. Can you push your toes down and raise them back up? Try it on the other foot. Put your toes down and raise them up. Now try both feet. Toes down, back up. Second part of the rehab was we're going to get one of those walkers that you put your hand on and push, and we're going to have you do that. We're going to have you do that. That was the rehab. And then back to the room. Nobody comes in to check the vitals. He's got pneumonia, okay? I don't think anyone ever tested his lungs. They sure did in the 2 days I was there. It was almost like everybody's afraid to touch him. They unless he had to be transported to the bathroom and back. And that, I told you how that went. His son had to bring him back after he went to the restroom and cleaned them up and put pull-ups on them and all that. So we spent the day, and his son and I. If I said brother, I didn't mean to. His son and I went out and had a hamburger, and he left to go to his father's house where he's staying while he's here. He's from another state. And I think to myself, I didn't see a RN, registered nurse, the whole 2 or 3 days he's been there. He's been there 3 days, but he was transferred in the middle of the day 3 days ago. I haven't seen a registered nurse. They were the ones that's supposed to give the medicine at most places. What they did was it appeared that they certified someone to give out the medicine. Yeah, certified them. Took a short course somewhere, I guess. It's very hard to get even a staff member to come to the room. During the whole day now that I was there, wasn't there early in the morning, but during all the hours I was there, 2 people came in the room. One to take them to the restroom and not come back. And I know there was a second person that came in to say something. I don't even remember it. To me, it's insignificant because they were out. His doctor comes in every Wednesday, and he stayed 2 minutes and said, if you need anything else, call my office. I said, did he check your lungs and vitals? Did he have one of those scopes? No. No. He had to get going after 2 minutes. So we really don't know if you got pneumonia or not, do we? Nope. The rest of the day, I know it was that was the social worker, that the second person, because we spent an hour. She was spending an hour trying to convince us that he should stay at the nursing home and not go home early, even though nobody was really doing much with him. They weren't checking on him. They weren't taking him to the bathroom because he can't walk at this point. He needs a walker, and I'm not sure that there was one in there. There wasn't a refrigerator in there. There was a TV in there. So it was pretty bare bones minimum for what I expected, because the other people that went there were on different floors that got better care. But this floor was for people that were going to be there just for a few days and go out, sort of a quick rehab type thing. So they got less care. Can you believe that? If you go in for rehab from the hospital, which the hospital sent him there, you're going to get less care than if you're on the second floor or third floor. Just because I guess they think you're not in need of anything other than to see if you can go this way with your toes. Can you push your toes down and raise them back up? Can you push them back down? Can you raise them back up? Now we want you to take the walker and see how far you can push it. You just put your hand on the walker and push it. Okay, that's the physical therapy part of it. And then after that, you got the rest of the day free, sitting looking at air. Looking at air. That's I haven't talked to him since I left. I know he's discussed that he wants to go home, but we got to get external help. That means outside help to come in, which, since he is with the VA, Veterans Association, will supply that help. But we just have to call in and arrange it. Well, that's life in a day at a local nursing home. That's the #1 nursing home in my town. And I wouldn't have believed this day if I hadn't have been there. But I was there, saw the rehab, the toes go down. Can you push them down a little bit more? The toes on your feet? Okay, now let's see how far you can push push this, forgot what I called it, but it was a walker. And I thought, I looked for a refrigerator because the other one, owned by the same company, they had refrigerators in there, and they let you keep beer in there. This didn't even, and that was on the first floor too of the other nursing home. It was built a little bit. How can I say it? It was a newer one. They even on Fridays let the residents and visitors have 2 or 3 drinks of whatever liquor they like. They sort of said don't go over 2, but they turned their backs on that. If a person wanted more to drink, wine, hard liquor, or beer, they got it. And I won't name these places, so I won't name what city I'm in. But I'm just telling you what the life in one of the best known in this town nursing homes was like today. And just wanted to suggest something to you all. Before admitting someone to a nursing home or a rehab center, which are one and the same, depending how long, what you're sent there for. Before going, ask for a personal visit. Now, I've visited, being in the mental health field, I've visited a lot of nursing homes, and the lower end, you'll smell urine as you walk in and walk down the hall. You'll smell a lot of urine. You'll see people with their doors open crying for you to come in because no one comes and talks to them, family members in particular. So it's not like I'm, this is my first rodeo being in nursing homes. In this one, there was no smell, there was none of that. It's clean as you could get one. But where's the personnel? Well, we were told we're understaffed right now. They really didn't have to go into that much detail because we figured it out. So, if you or someone else goes to a rehab center or nursing home, check out every one of them in your town or in local towns where your family can drive to in a short amount of time. Do not let the hospital select it for you. I've seen this too many times where the hospital picks the nursing home, and I happen to know why from the horse's mouth why some doctors send their patients to certain nursing homes. I happen to have the story on that, why particular doctors only use a certain nursing home regardless of what it smells like, looks like, or has enough staff. You can read my mind right now, so I don't have to say it. I want to thank you for listening. I'm tired right now, but I had to put this one on. God bless you.